Hey guys, in this video I'm going to be doing an LED lighting upgrade on my 2018 Subaru WRX. In this video we're going to do the low beams, the high beams, and the front blinkers. And then in my next upload we're going to be doing the rear license plate lights, blinkers, and backup lights. Once that video is live, a link to it will be in the upper right hand corner as well as in the video description. Real quick before getting started on the install, I wanted to give you a side-by-side comparison of the low beams and the high beams. Here on the driver's side they've been upgraded to the LED. You can see it's got a much clearer light than the side indicator. I'll probably upgrade that later as well now that I'm seeing the contrast that we've got going on there. LED lights are a lot brighter than the halogen, and you can also see that the color just has a much more modern look with that more whitish light as opposed to the yellow that we've got with the halogens. And you can see over here on the passenger side, again, the halogens have a very yellow tone to them. Personally, I don't think that they illuminate the road quite as well as the LEDs. And then again, it just looks a lot more dated than the LEDs. So we'll start here on the driver's side. Our high beam fixtures are on the inside, low beam fixtures on the outside. To get to the low beam, we're gonna have to unhook the battery and kind of shift it out of the way to get our hand back behind. The high beam is a lot easier to get to. Basically just take your hand down here, grab onto the housing that the bulb is in, twist it counterclockwise. And I've got a little plastic clip we've got to push in on to release the electrical connection. Here's a closer look at that. So these three plastic tabs lock into the housing. So to lock them in, you twist clockwise to disconnect it, counterclockwise, and then the electrical connection here, you've got this piece that just pushes in there. So you just push it on the plastic tab and pull it out. So that's pretty easy to remove. And then the new Lasfit fixture that we're going to be putting in, you'll see it is a little bit larger, a little bulkier, but it is plug and play. So you don't have to worry about any error codes or any, electrical work of any kind. For low beam, again, we're going to have to shift the battery over to get out of the way. So we've got a 10mm wrench. I'm going to go ahead and loosen this nut here. I'm going to see if I can just shift the battery over rather than fully disconnecting it, just to get the space that I need for my hand here. And again, the light bulb here is the same style, so we're just going to twist it counterclockwise again. Got it out, and then we're going to disconnect that electrical connection just like we did on the high beam fixture. A little trickier here just because of this space. You certainly could remove the battery entirely to give yourself better access, but it looks like we got it out just by shifting that over. So again, you can see same style as what we saw with the high beam. So now we've got our new fixture. Once again, it's got those three tabs that match the factory housing. We've got a matching electrical connection, so it's plug and play. We're going to go ahead and connect the electrical here first, just because we don't have a ton of clearance. And we also want to test it out and make sure that it works before we move this battery back in place. If it doesn't work, sometimes you've got to flip the connection around 180 degrees, and then it'll work. Okay, so we got that clicked in. Go ahead and set this here real quick, and we'll just give it a quick test to make sure that illuminates. Turn on the headlights. And you can see that it doesn't, actually. So you can flip that around 180 degrees, and then we should be good. There you go. Got that clicked in. We'll go ahead and give it another test now. Now we've got some light. You hear the fan running. Go ahead and turn that off. And then we will now line up those three tabs and slip it into that factory housing. Oh, we are locked into place. So that locked in. Shift this battery back to where it needs to be. Go ahead and start by tightening up that nut by hand. Now ready for the passenger side. For this side, we'll start with the easy one again. Disconnect the electrical connection first on our high beam fixture, and then we're going to twist counterclockwise. Actually, that one twisted clockwise, so maybe it's backward on this side. Pull it out. Take our new bulb, same that we saw on the driver's side. I'm gonna go ahead and line up those 3 tabs first, and then we'll twist it counterclockwise. Connect our electrical connection. Unfortunately, the low beams on this side are even harder to access than on the driver's side. Not certain if this is going to work, but I think maybe disconnecting this nut here to the airbox, once again, maybe we can kind of just shift it out of the way enough to get access to reach it. So we're going to go ahead and give that a try. Once again, a 10mm wrench here on this nut. Just going to slide that back and see if I can get this out. I'll start with our fixture itself, see if we can twist it. Oh, I feel some movement. That's good. There we go. Got it out of the housing. Disconnect that electrical. Once again, though, I apologize that I can't really give you guys a good view of what I'm doing here. Makes the video a little bit less helpful, but you can pretty much figure it out. Once again, same fixture we did over on the other side. So I think I'll see if I can get that electrical connection first. And again, because of the difficult access on this one, we'll do a quick test. Make sure that we've got that connection on there correct. 50-50 chance. And I got it wrong on both sides. So we'll disconnect it and flip it around. And do another test. Much better. So now that we're connected, just have to slide this back down through this gap. Hopefully it fits, since this bulb's a little bulkier than the one we took out. All right, it is killing my hand to try to get this one back in place. So I'm gonna just remove this whole little bracket that we've got here. Let's see if that makes it easier for us to reach down in there. All right, that does give me a better view here. Push that in, twist, I think we're in. So definitely recommend removing this bracket. That made it way easier. I had to cut out a few minutes of me destroying my hands trying to get them down in there. So then we'll just put these 3 nuts back on. We'll secure the bracket before I tighten this one to the airbox. Next up, we're going to replace the blinkers, and I think it's easiest if you lift up the vehicle to do this step, although it may be possible to do with the vehicle sitting on level ground. It's just going to be harder to see what you're doing. I decided to do the driver and passenger side at the same time, so I've got floor jacks set up on both sides of the vehicle. Make sure you position those at the correct lift points, and then also set up jack stands as a secondary precaution. Once we've done that, the plastic cover underneath, there are 2 clips that we've got to remove. I'll give you a look at that in just a moment. That'll give us enough access to reach our hands up, remove the old bulb and replace it with the new one. I've already done the driver's side, so we'll head over to the passenger side now. So we're going to remove these 2 plastic clips here, and in order to do that, you're going to want either a trim removal tool or a flathead screwdriver. I actually think that 2 helps. We're going to go ahead and take the tips of the flathead, slip them under this head here, and pop off that head. Then we're just going to yank down on this plastic clip. And then do the same thing here. And with both of those out, we're just gonna pull down gently on this plastic. There's a little kind of tongue that's underneath this blue piece, so we'll just pull that down. Once again, I can't really get you guys a good angle here, but you're gonna see, you just take your hand up and reach it up behind the blinker, grab onto the back of that fixture and just twist it out of place, pull it down, and then we're just gonna pop out our bulb, and once again pop the new one in, and again we're going to check this bulb out before we put it back into the housing to make sure that it illuminates correctly. And you can see that it does. If it doesn't, just flip it around 180 degrees and it should work. Then we're just gonna put our hand back up in here, line up those tabs to get that in place, and then lock the fixture into place. And our final step here is gonna be to put this black plastic back into place. So this little tongue here, we're gonna slip underneath again. And then we're just gonna take these plastic clips, make sure that that head is pulled out, kind of push these back in gently, and then just pop that in, push in the top. Do the same thing with this one, and pop in the top. And with that, the LED lighting upgrade is complete on the front end of the WRX. Next up, we're gonna tackle the rear end of the vehicle. If you guys do have any comments or questions on this installation, leave them in the comments section below. And in the meantime, thanks for watching.